Hey everyone, here we are again, back for our third and final show of today. It's launch day. Normally we do it on a Monday, but because of course yesterday was Bank Holiday Monday, we're here on Tuesday bringing you the brand new collection from Carnation. And to say that you've loved it is the understatement of the day, because I can't remember an update like this. I mean, we came in earlier on this morning at 9 a.m. with 40% of the entire stock gone, just by a little tease that Carla gave you yesterday on Facebook. Well, this time at 1 o'clock live on Tuesday afternoon, nearly 70% of the entire stock has gone. That's before we do this show and before we do two other shows tomorrow at 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock. It is the amazing Summer Cascades. What is the Summer Cascades all about? In a nutshell, we're all at that point, aren't we, in this time of the year when we're thinking about getting maybe a new barbecue or getting the old one out and dusting it off, getting the garden furniture sorted out, jet washing the patio, going to the garden centre and getting the plants. We're thinking about outdoor living. And that's what this is all about. This is fetes. This is garden parties. This is getting people around to the garden for a bit of a slap up barbie. All that sort of thing is what this is all about. That's what Summer Cascades is all about. I think it's one of the most optimistic collections because we are optimistic for a good spring, a good summer, getting out there, getting some fresh air, and that's what this is all about. Now, with the collection normally, you expect to get one card base normally. Well, with this one, you're getting two, but potentially up to four. Let me run through why, because you've got the Arbor. Now, the Arbor, this could be an archway, a gazebo, it could be a garden shed if you wanted to make it into a garden shed, making it a little less tall, but you've got potential there for it to be all sorts of things. You've got the lattice there that you can have, of course, the foliage growing up. So that is your first card base. The second card base is just over here, and you can see you've got that beautiful, very ornate square, which also doubles up as a diamond if you turn it a quarter turn. But in addition to those mats and layers of the square, you've also got this beautiful Gothic window. This could also be a Gothic door. It could be a door from a big restaurant leading out to a garden behind, or you could be looking out to the garden or something like that. And those doors and those windows can actually open, but that equally could be its own card blank. I'll show you some samples a little bit later on. And also one of the design team very cleverly used this beautiful floral corner as a card base as well. So there are potentially here four bases that you could use in lots of different ways. But then you come on to the furniture. You come on to your garden couch, bench, the cushions there, of course, as well. You've got your pitcher for your drinks. You've got the teacups and saucers and the teapot. You've then down the bottom got the cutest characters. Another mouse to add to your collection who's lying back, probably had a bit too much cake or a bit too much punch or whatever. And then you've also got your gnomes there as well, the male and the female, which loads of you have said that you've loved those. You've then got the pots and the flowers. And then for that perfect garden celebration or that perfect garden party, you've then got your balloons, you've got your flags, you've got your glasses and your bottles, you've got your cake as well, and your ice creams and ice lollies. So the whole thing should be nearly £170. After Friday, it's going to be £149.99 if we have any stock left. If you order it today on launch day, everyone gets this discounted price and free P&P in the UK. It's £129.99 for everything. Now, as well as expecting the free vignettes, which of course we always give you at Carnation, the vignettes are basically our artwork that we let you print off free of charge on Carnation's website, carnationcrafts.co.uk. In addition to that, there are actually four other colourways that you can actually buy today. Normally they'd be £20 for the four different colourways, but today they're only £5. £5 gets you four different colourways for all of the dyes that you have in your collection today. So if you go for the main collection and the free one, you'll then have 5 different colourways to enjoy with this collection today, Summer Cascades. And again, after Friday, the price of those printable vignettes will go back up to £20. But if you get them today, they're just £5 for the extra 4 colourways, and Taz is just flicking around there to show you. So that is a brilliant offer, and lots of you have taken us up on that today. In addition, quickly, the perfect papers. I know loads of you always religiously order those along with the main die collection, because you get 48 sheets of colour coordinated coated cardstock, 300 GSM. You've got beautiful greens, beiges, into your beautiful kind of pastel pinks there. The dotted design is on there, the stripe design and the block colours. And that has been produced to complement all of the artwork, the vignettes that you're printing off today. And that's available for £14.99, and it's 2 4 40510. But remember, nearly 70% of the entire stock of this collection has gone. Taz is here, Carla's here. It's been a brilliant morning, hasn't it?
It's been fast and furious,
Yep.
as we expected, because it's gorgeous, and you guys aren't daft, you know, when you see a collection that you're just going to use and use, that it's time to get the things. And I'm so chuffed for those of you who've got it. It's really exciting. Lots of you will have this in your hand tomorrow. So when Taz and I come to air at 10 and 12 tomorrow, please do come craft along with us. Get those vignettes printed out tonight. Remember, if you've bought that extra set, you've also got 4 other colorways to play with. So you can mix match. You can use it in separate colorways. Please do get that downloaded as well while it's on offer for you, because it won't stay there very long. It's going to go back up on Friday. Let's have a look at what you're getting, and let's have a look at this stunning collection. You've got the Arbor Stepper card shape here. Extraordinary piece of engineering. And you've got an outside die, as we would normally have for your card base, and then you've got a matte die, which we would normally have, right? So, brilliant. But this is a standalone piece. Yes, you can use it with those, absolutely, of course, because we like choice. You've got your vines, you've got your trellis, you've got your decoupage, you've got your little hanging basket, but this works in such an extraordinary way. The stepper, we'll show you this because we're going to do it in demo, but the stepper, this is the element here of the stepper. It folds forward and then back on itself, and that's what holds it up. You've also got your roof there. They're going to, if you cut 2 of these together, put them together and they will hold. And then this amazing platform with all of these score lines that are in it that allow you to create mountain and valley folds so that you can stick more on in layers going back. And that's such a boon to have, because it means that we are creating in different ways. It means we're creating different heights, different perspectives. We're clever with our card making with actually very little effort on our parts, because the clever bit kind of got taken care of, like this little beauty that we see before us. So you've got all of your layers and your elements there that come back. So you can see him sitting.
Isn't that great?
Isn't that wonderful? Now, let me just show you something, because as I pull this back, if I turn this around, you'll notice the stepper is, you know, on its own. Yep. So it's not there as such with the need for the back bit. This is the very talented Vera Bow here who's done this for us. So you've got these clever design elements coming through that allow us to create in so many awesome ways, even down to the decoupage of those front elements that give us the depth between whatever we put in front and whatever's behind. So we're going to play with that. You're going to see it in full. It's very clever, and it's also incredibly versatile. Are you going to cut it in white, for instance, if you're doing a wedding card? Are you going to use the artwork? It depends what you want to do with it. So that is your Arbor Stepper card shape. But then we've got this beautiful garden rose corner. This is your garden roses with your decoupage elements, or use them as independent florals. This stunning muted corner, which is so pretty, but it adds such a boom to your card. It's a real impact piece. It doesn't look it when you just see it, but when we start adding that in, the visual punch is so strong with love, and its own holder there as well. So you've got matte layer for your sentiment, everything built in. Because this has its own matte layer too, we can also use that as its own sort of card base, or we can use it to raise those roses up depending what you want to do. This is incredible. The grand window, possibly my favorite out of this whole collection. Yep. I am in love with this window. It's so classy, so elegant. It's so versatile too. I can open those windows or I can leave them closed. But also added to that visually, it's it changes depending what you put next to it or in front of it, if that makes sense. It can be something that's very kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Opulent. It has that sense of opulence to it. Or I can pair it back, have a couple of gnomes and some balloons, and suddenly it's almost like a fun little place, a fun little window if I pop one of the gnomes behind it. So lots of playway with it. It's got the window boxes, of course, but again, we're getting another card base here. I've got the card base, the mats, and the layer, and this is so pretty with those little indents on it. So again, a card already made, really. If you were to pop that on there, your flower basket in front and a couple of florals, you're made. You've got a beautiful, beautiful card. This Sunny Cellar. The joy of this collection is everybody come to you like, oh, I need that one. Oh, I'm going to need that one. I'll need that one. And that's why we get such a great value when we buy the bundles from Carnation, because obviously the price reduces so heavily.
I just look at that and see summer fates or sports days at school, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't allowed at sports days, but yes, I imagine so. So you've got your bunting here, then you've got your flags, you've got your balloons, your lights, your fairy lights that go through, your cake, your slice of cake, your ice lollies, your ice creams. Then you've got your bottle of vino, a couple of glasses, which would be like maybe a water or something, lemonade, something like that, and maybe a couple of glasses of bubbly there. So all the celebrations for summer in one place.
Actually, talking of the ice creams, Alison on Facebook says the actual perfect papers are kind of ice cream colours.
Yeah,
I didn't know what she meant, but yes, they are. Pistachio, mint choc chip, raspberry ripple, coffee.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's just perfect working together, isn't it? They just blend. They're so pretty. I love that board so much. Then we've got this, which is clever beyond. It's so clever. We talk about scene building. Now, one thing when we're building scenes is that we need to be able to manipulate the pieces that we've got to create what we want to create in a scene. And things like this, where we've got a coffee table as such, or a table that's got, for want of a better phrase, stumpy legs, we might, I know the feeling, we might want to raise that up. So we have the extra panels here that we can use to make that a tall table. So if you want to do, for instance, a DL card, and you're going to need to elongate that because it would look sort of fairly strange on the top of a DL, you can elongate it. And that's what we mean by scene building. Which elements are you going to use? We've got your gorgeous teapot, and then we've got your cups there. I always think of those as gravy pots and not teapots. It takes my brain a while to change that around. Then you've got your glass of lemonade, your jug of lemonade, all coming through. This is clever beyond. So you've got this, we can cut into it, we can use it as 3 separate cushions, we can use it as a settee, but it will seat upon here. So if you want that to be a futon, as it is, it's perfect as it is. I can cut the legs off that and just use it as a base for that, but I can use it with the legs as well, as if it is potentially a taller settee or, you know, something along those lines. So you've got the different elements, and then we've got your tablecloths, your napkins, so it all comes together. It's beautifully done. We have got Just Bliss, which is this gorgeous little carnation mouse. Carnation do mice. They just...
It's kind of their signature, isn't it?
It is. It's Nick's signature in his collection. We've got the little mouse, we've got the towel rolled up, and that beautiful picnic basket. And the look on his face tells us everything we need to know about summer, doesn't it? It's that lying back in the ground, facing your little face up to the summer. He's got his little tongue. Has anyone noticed? He's got his tiny little tongue sticking out.
I didn't see that before.
He's very, very happy. He's fully enjoying himself. It is exactly what it says on the tin. It is just bliss.
When animals have got their tongues out, it's evidently contentment.
Is it? Corny has his tongue out all the time.
He's a very content boy.
He is a very content boy. Now we've got your 2 gnomes here. Again, versatility. Things like the toadstool that can be cut away so that she can be seated on a swing, or she can be seated on the settee. You've got this chap here with his hands in very, very specific poses so that you can, of course, hold the balloons. You could hold something else. Now, what's something else that Carnation always do, and it's really clever. Let me get my pokey. You see how you can see the shade line coming around his sleeve here? That balloon. I could cut that off. So I could essentially cut his hand off, but then I could twist it. And it could be lower down, and I could re-stick that back on, and so change the pose of his arm. Okay. So you have got different choices there as well, so you can play with those. Just brilliant, absolutely awesome for us to use. From there, borders, baskets and beds, really important piece. Your soil, which can be used as rope, it can be used as extra elements for your floral tuck-ins, really, really important, but it is your grounding device, and that's going to make sense of everything we make because pots don't float in space, so we can make sense of them. You've got your basket, you've then got your plant pot, and you've got your vase, so we've got different elements to make. Then, tall line foliage, or it's like a floral piece. Then you've got your ground line piece, so that would be a riser in front of the grounding device, and then you've got your hanging florals. If you're putting them in a basket or if you're putting them in here, they'll just hang over the top. individual florals for tuck-ins. Now these work with these, so if I want to fill this out a little bit, I can start adding in, because if you see this flower here, it's the same as this flower here. I can start to tuck them in and use little tuck-ins to create a bloom. So it's up to you where you want to go and what you want to do. Summer Cascades is going to be one of those collections that we pick from all the time, because there's so many pieces in here for other cards as well.
Now, let me just show you something that Carla showed you on the board a few minutes ago, where she showed you the earth, the strip of earth. Now, this is testimony to Janine, who's one of our brilliant design team members, because I looked at that earth and thought, okay, that's all it is. Janine looked at it and thought, no, that actually could be the rope for the swing. Of course it can. It looks like rope. And one of those panels from the seat has then been just snipped away, and that is, of course, making the swing for our little gnome girl, which is so cute, and then just hanging in the arbor like that, absolutely brilliant. One of my favorite cards of the day so far. One other thing with some of the other cards that we've not shown you so far today, I want to point out this one. Remember, with the vignettes, the artwork in other words, you've got the option of having single-sided printed out, which if you know the back's not going to be seen, use that. If you want the double-sided mirrored vignettes, then when things are going to be visible from the back or the sides, or like in this case, you want the mouse to be looking in both directions, you've got a left and a right. So that one mouse points in one direction, but when you use the double-sided vignettes, you've got two mice looking at each other, which is really sweet. So that could be like an engagement card, civil partnership, marriage, anything like that. Still using the arbor on this one, but again, we've got our cute gnome characters here in front of the window, or it could be like a fantastic Georgian door to a ballroom or something like that. But again, the flowers over the top just frame it beautifully. You can use the flowers as corners. You could put 4 of those together to make a complete floral frame with an aperture in the middle, but they just look so gorgeous steeped over the top of that door or window. A couple more quickly that we've not shown you. We've tried to get a few more new ones for you each time we do a show. Here's another one of the arbor, and then we've got, just to prove it, the door or the window, whichever you want it to be, actually is a card blank in its own right. Lavinia's done this one, and you've got the 2 gnomes just poking their heads through the side there of the window, which is really sweet. And then if you don't want to do that type of card, what about maybe going for a DL landscape card here with everything you need for a party, a barbecue, a garden fete, a summer fair, whatever it might be. Again, with the characters there helping to serve at the cake stall, helping to spill the drinks and all that sort of thing, but with your bunting there as well, and those beautiful 3-dimensional florals. So there's all sorts of capability. You're given the components, you're given the vignettes and the artwork. Remember, there are 4 new colorways that you can enjoy in addition to the one that you get free when you purchase this, and that's only £5 just until Friday. It will go up to £20 for those extra 4 colors on Friday, but if you order them today, you can get all 5, the free one that you get with your download, and of course the extra 4 for just £5. Over 70% of the entire day's or special offer stock has gone. You can see why. Now the price should be £168.92. Our usual price, though, will be going forward from Friday, £149.99. If you order it today, or indeed while we still have stock at the moment, it's £129.99. Now, if you don't want to pay in full, we always offer you PayPal Pay in 3. We always offer you Clear Pay as an option as well, all interest free. Or if you'd rather just pay for it outright, of course you can do that by going to carnationcrafts.co.uk and ordering it today. The gang will email you straight away once they've got your order to say it's been picked, it's been packed, and it's been posted. If you order now, it should be posted this afternoon. You might even get it as early as tomorrow. Lots of people say that that has happened. So the customer services and the speed with which Carnation work if you order direct from them is absolutely incredible. So yeah, I know what it's like. When you order something, you want it tomorrow, or you want it yesterday. Well, we can't get it to you for yesterday, but we can hopefully get it for you, if not tomorrow, the day after. But the stock is going very fast. Over 70% gone. Taz?
I may be wrong, but I think usually the last pickup
2 o'clock.
is at 2 o'clock.
That's what I thought, yeah. 2 o'clock normally is when the post gets picked up. So you've got, what, 40 minutes to make your order. If you're in quickly enough, it might get sent out in that 2 o'clock pickup this afternoon. Okay.
Got to be fast.
You've got to be fast.
The other side is we are at 70% of Carnation stock. We will go with this at Hobby Maker on Friday, and there will be some stock there, but you're going to pay £3.95p, and P from Carnation, you will get that free. So just something to consider while you're thinking about your different options there.
True.
We want to have a look at that Arbor stepper shape there, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love this gorgeous, gorgeous Arbor stepper card shape. I love it not least because I think it looks beautiful aesthetically. It's just very pleasing, isn't it? There's lots of options straight away when we see it. But second of all, it's incredibly versatile, and for me, versatility is a huge part of my crafting process. I get to cut into it in different ways. I get to create with it in different ways. We're going to use it as a complete piece in this next demonstration, so you will see it in full, but there are obviously other options with it too.
Just want to quickly say hi to everyone that's watching on Facebook and messaging as well. Alison Ward has said, the mouse has sold it to me. She said, I see summer weddings with this. I totally agree with you, Alison. Can Carnation Crafts do a bride and groom mouse? Have they ever done one?
They have a bride and groom mouse. I don't know.
We'll put it forward.
They listen to the shows, so I'm sure they will take that into consideration. I know they've got a mother mouse, but I don't think they've got a...
Or maybe a top hat and a dress that could go on existing mice or something like that, maybe. So you could dress them up. We'll put it to them, see what they say.
We'll see what they say. So with those side elements, all we're doing here is you fold this line forward and the next one back as such, so you create that stepper. So we've got that dimension that comes forward. So when I see that, do you see how this now comes forward? Because I have shaped it in such a way. Now, let's talk about this line in between. This is what you're going to attach it to the back of your other one if you wanted to, or it will freestand. So we just showed you one where it's freestanding. You can have it then where it's attached to the back. If you want to create a tent base, that's absolutely something you can do. If you take this, where it is at the minute, you see this white line that comes across this, there's 3 of them. Mm-hmm. Take it, fold it back, okay?
Yeah.
Up, and then down. Concertina it. Now that gives me this at the front, and I can attach things to that, but I can also attach things to that. But because it's standing as it is in that Z fold, you need to burnish this really well, obviously, but it'll stand on its own. Okay, so that is one option. I like to strengthen mine with a second, but I also really like tent fold cards. So all you're going to do is repeat the process, and you're going to stick the 2 together.
Sorry to interrupt, Carly. Another Alison on Facebook says the gnomes would be great for a child's birthday card. Absolutely. Being asked, is it a complete collection? Absolutely it is. There's no add-ons. Yep, there's a launch. You get the whole lot if you go for 240501.
Everything you saw is showing on the boards is everything that you're going to receive in your hand tomorrow, or whenever you know, if you order it today, you'll receive all of this hopefully tomorrow. We are at the mercy of Royal Mail, so we can only get it to you as quick as your postman is willing to move. But we do our absolute best to get that out to you same day. Picked, packed and posted. It's a point of pride for Carnation.
Yep.
And we like to assure that whatever you have purchased has come to you. So the other thing I just want to show you quickly is I can piece those 2 together to give me even more room on the inside. I can cut some of these away so they're not overlapping, but the overlapping will give you extra strength. So it depends what you want to do. But the whole point is it's yours to play with. And that's important. So how many layers do you want going back? How wide do you want that card to stand? Bearing in mind, it will still all fold flat for postage, which is important for us.
And if you are new to Carnation, you're wondering what paper do we recommend to print onto to get the best results, ProPrint every single time. That's on the website at carnationcrafts.co.uk. And there's various different GSMs. If you're doing double-sided vignettes, you always recommend 120 GSM, don't you?
Yes, absolutely.
So when you fold that together, it's 240 GSM.
And single-sided, I would always say go for your 220.
Yeah.
Right, let's piece those together. So I've just glued them in, and then I'll just make sure that adhesion has taken there. Now when you're working with this at home, it's going to obviously be much easier for you to see where you're going. I don't have that privilege while I've got a camera overhead, but it is better to piece them together first because you can work out your layers. So you can see how that has a steppered look to it.
Yeah.
What are you going to put on your steps? And I think visually that's very strong. You can see where you're going, you can see those lines. So as you're playing, you can paste things in, and this is where we come to your scene building elements. At the front here, I've obviously got those steppered pieces pushed inwards so you can see them. I would be inclined to do exactly the same with the back ones as well, so that it's an even distribution both at the front and at the back. You've got mirrored vignettes. Anything that you put on that step in order to face forward, it's also going to be seen from the back because they're mirrored, so they're on both sides. That makes these incredibly strong cards. Beautifully done, right?
But also with a card that shape, you can see inside, you can see the
Of
back, so
course.
it's important to have the printing on both
Well,
sides.
I'll be totally straight. You wouldn't get away with this kind of engineering with other die companies. You need those mirrored vignettes.
Yeah.
And that's why Carnation can create things that are completely unique to the market that other people can't compete with in that way. And that's a nice place to be for us as well, because we know that our cards are going to be A, extraordinary, but B, unique. And that's nice.
I mean, that card base now is virtually a model, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like a model
literally.
house. Yeah.
Literally. So this will fold in, and that's really lovely for posting. It means I've got options as far as, because listen, none of us want to pay extra special postage, do we? We just want to get it in the post to the people we love, and we get to do that, which is really nice. These will stand forward. Now, another thing I do just want to say, I'll do it tomorrow for you. You can actually make a box from this. So if you want to make a box from it, that's easy enough done. You would then be able to use acetate on 3 sides to use some of your tiny lights as well, and it'll all piece together to create a different type of scene. So that is something else you can do with it. So you have got all of those aspects. I'll try and remember to get that done for you tomorrow. I'm going to piece the window in at the back because I think it looks super, super beautiful when you do.
And just look at how the size is perfect. You know, everything has been thought through. The size of the flowers, the size of the window or the doors, the aperture, the opening in the actual arbor, everything works together so well.
So now that I've pieced that in, I'm just going to make sure I've stuck all my little wadgemy bits in. Just bear with me, wadgemy bits, so that I know that I'm straight. And same at the other side. So already visually I'm creating impact and I'm creating a scene. Now you couldn't leave it like that. I think my window's higgledy-piggledy slightly. Do apologise. You have got lines at the back, follow them. But you obviously, you won't be working in the same way I am, obviously. So you'll find it much easier to piece that. There you go. That's it. So now that you've got that there, I'm going to need to make sure there's things in front that are higher, and this is where your levels become important. The reason I'm doing it forward facing to you, although that may mean I get some things higgledy-piggledy, I'm kind of okay with that in the sense of showing you where we're going with this.
Well, this is now looking a little bit like a conservatory or an orangery.
Absolutely.
A little bit.
So if I place my settee right at the back, I've then got things to put at the front. I could put my table, I could put various other things there, couldn't I? Or I can place it in the middle and have it here. Bear in mind I've got a base if I want to raise it, or I can just glue it to the back there and I'll start to get height and difference, or I can place it right at the front and it will completely cover the bottom of that window and it will become the star of the show at the front. So for instance, like that. Now if I do it like that, I'm going to need to adjust my height or put the base on so that it covers the back of that window. So take all those things into consideration while you're scene building, because that's exactly what we're doing. We're trying to create those scenes. So I just wanted to visually explain that to you, so when you get home, you know where you're going with it. So I hope that helped.
A message from Julia Garland. Hi, Julia.
Hey, Julia.
Good morning from North Carolina, USA. Hi.
Hey.
Beautiful collection. Can we find double-sided thick tape you use on Amazon?
Yes. So when you're putting that in, pop in insulation, window insulation tape, double-sided. The way I find it, because actually it can be tricky to find, is I always put in 5mm. It doesn't matter whether I want the 3mm or the 1, because I buy all 3 sizes. But if I put in 5mm, because it's an unusual height, it tends to show, and you'll see it's got that yellow backing. You're looking for a big reel. You can get small reels, but it's not double-sided. It won't do you any good at all. So look for that, and it will come up. And you can buy it from there, and that's where I get it from. So I tend to buy all 3. When you go in to click it, it usually gives you options for your other sizes. I hope that helps.
There you go, Julia, and hopefully you've ordered it too. And if you're watching in America or anywhere else in the world, you can also order the collections today. I'll tell you more about that after the demo.
So I'm going to piece this into my midpoint. Now I can't actually face this to you for a minute, so you're going to have to bear with me because I'm doing it from behind. I've got to be able to see where I'm gluing it, otherwise we're going to have an awful lot of problems. So just bear with me for 1 second. I do apologise, but just while I piece this in so I can visually see that I've got it at the right height. So now that that one's in, that's my mid section taken care of. My settee is there, and I can start to then piece in at the front, which is exactly what I'm going to do.
Don't you just want a conservatory like that?
Dude, I want a gnome like that. So on the front, I've got my flower basket. I'm going to try and do it this way. Please forgive any wonkiness. I want you to be able to see it. From here, I've also got inside then my florals. Okay, now these are really, really cute because you can just tuck them over, can you see, and it looks like they're growing over the top, which I love. I just think what a really, really precious way of kind of giving the idea. If I want to, I can just place them behind, of course, to make it look fuller. It's up to you, but I really love it with that extra just tuck over the top. I think it's so sweet and gives a really pretty visual, so I'm going to stick with it that way. So now that it's in place, I'm just going to hold it, pop a little bit of PVA. This is Carnation's Everyday Glue, one of the most powerful PVAs ever, which I love. And from there, I've got cut lines. Can you see? Never a cut line wasted. That should be Carnation's new slogan. Never a cut line wasted. Why do we have them? We have them because they are imperative to what we do. I can bend, mold and manipulate. They're not there by accident. They're not there just for aesthetics. They're there because they provide me with they do a job. It's a tool. So I'm going to use that and I'm going to fill it with silicone gel glue. So my pin flare here, and I'm going to fill this.
And all these things that Carla's using is available and are available on the Carnation Crafts website. So have a little look for Pinfair Glue Gel. Have a look for the Everyday Glue. You get 7 bottles, 1 for every day of the week. And also the applicators are on the website as well.
Right, bear with me a second, guys. I'm just going to tuck that into there. I've just got to find my bearings because I'm doing this backwards and I can't actually see what I'm doing. So bear with me a second.
Not bad.
There we go. Just get that I'll get it as straight as I can. Right, so we've got that beautiful visual effect now coming through. Okay, so we can start to see that there's layers going through and we've got elements that we can see, so it's really nice. We're building that dimension. There's definitely a distance between the top and the bottom. Now another thing that I want to do is piece in here together my vine. I love these vines and I love them because they do not overtake or exceed the front of the card. So placing this in, again, excuse my big noggin, I'm just going to place this.
And the lattice panels look lovely, but when you put the vine over the top, it's the perfect addition. Really
pretty, aren't they? They just give a little bit of a feel. I love the way it just rises above. It's, again, super summery, isn't it? That feeling of summers here. So same job again, little bits here, just so we can stick this vine on, and then working from the front. I do apologise again. There we go. Actually, I'm going to stop apologising because You're
doing great.
I'm going to get bored of myself saying sorry. So we'll put that up there. Right, now I've got my floral rooftop, and I just want to show you this for a second.
And this is what was used as a carte blanche at one point as well. So, you know, it's not just a right angle corner, it can be used in all sorts of ways.
Now I'm doing this from the back and I'm pushing forward on it. So I'm creating a dome on these because I'm going to do the other ones the opposite way and I want them to come out as far as possible. But what I wanted to just talk to you about is it works perfectly on this roof to kind of frame it out. But we can also work on angles, so don't feel that you have to do it, you know, always the same way, because on angles it's also very, very pretty. Now in order to fulfill that, I'm going to need to use my silicone gel glue. You could use foam pads, or you could of course alternatively use wet glue. It's going to be entirely what you're the most comfortable with. For me, silicone gel glue is going to give me wiggle room, it's going to give me extra height. And mine's slightly blocked, I think, so it's not playing exact ball, but we'll go with it. Right, I'm going to do it slightly on an angle. So I'm just using the monitor to see where I'm going. But I think that's about right. So I'm just placing that in. Okay, so you have that gorgeous sort of off-kilter, very, very pretty off-kilter piece to give it that sideline. Now you can then add a further sweep that goes down this side so that it would all sweep down. Your alternative, while I'm using silicone wet glue, is to turn it and have it as your full roof panel. It's going to be exactly what you want it to be because we are scene building.
And silicone glue takes what, a good few hours to completely dry? 24 hours.
If you want to be absolutely sure. The impatient among us can get away usually with a couple of hours, if I'm totally honest. However, they do suggest 24 hours. So just bear with me.
And that will dry rock solid. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm going to have to turn this down and just push it towards me so I can have a look, because I'm starting to get a little bit off kilter, which is making me twitch. So just bear with me. Hold on. I'm just going to weight that down a little bit. Oof, look at all my corners here.
It's so much easier doing it at home, believe me.
It's so much easier doing it with it straight in front of you, but you can't always see what I'm doing when I'm doing that. But we'll do our best and you'll see as much as I can show you. These ones I'm going to ball the other way, so I'm creating a cup. So convex, concave. Convex for these ones, concave for the others.
And again, the ball tools, the shaping mat, all of that available on the website for you. I mean, Carnation's website is not just about die collections, it's a whole craft store at your fingertips. And whether you're watching us in the UK, America, in Europe, wherever you are, you can order from it.
Order from it, they'll get it to you quicker than most places.
Totally.
The big Zon place, even they, you know, can only be usually as good as Carnation as getting it out to you in the same time, so they don't mess about. Right, let's put this on.
I was talking to a lady yesterday from America that said she orders things from that place you were talking about, and she gets it delivered in her back garden from a drone.
Oh, that's pretty
I
cool.
know. I dare say that'll happen over here at some point, but yeah, she gets it delivered and dropped in her back garden.
I'm just at the point where I can get it delivered the same day from that place.
Have you not seen the robots that have started delivering?
The little robotic cars,
Yeah, like tiny little things.
little carts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say, I find all of that a little bit weird. Technology is going insane. Right. I still think of automatic cars as being like, you know, crazy technology. I like my manual car. Right, I'm just going to pop her in here. Just grab her hand.
So automatic's not always the thing then?
No. Manual cars have got gear sticks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Is
love
yours automatic?
I can only drive an automatic.
Oh, you can only drive. Okay, fine.
So I can do all of this, just shape out his feet, pull his mustache forward, pull his hat forward, so that he is the correct kind of, he's got enough shapes in him. Throw-in shapes. He's a gnome that's throwing shapes. I'm going to pop him at this side. Sorry if my head's getting in the way. We're going to use these. Remember with these, every single flag on my bunting I can pull. So I can completely change the shape of that bunting. So it's exactly what I want it to be. I want it to tuck under the two roses so it hangs down in a sweep. So I'm going to take a little bit of wet glue just here and utilise that under those roses. So I'm just going to pick it up, and this one as well, and that'll hang to give that celebratory feel. And then of course on the sofa there's got to be something, of course, on the sofa, so it's going to be my little picnic basket, which I think is beyond cute. So again, silicone gel glue, of which I've got more on my hand than I have in my syringe. I'm just going to, bear with me guys, hold on, that's just going to seat on my little sofa.
And there you've got it, a work of art. Look at that.
Have their little picnic.
Isn't that brilliant? Remember, you can watch back the demos from the earlier shows today as well on YouTube if you want to. The 9 o'clock show, the 11 o'clock show, and also this show a bit later too. I've just got to show you this one. Janine has done this, and it's a different kind of take on the whole thing. If you have a little look here, our mouse is actually kind of sparkoed on the sofa because probably a little bit too much of this and maybe a little bit too much of this. So that's a different angle to it, which is really quite cute. And then here we've got the arbor again, but used in a totally different way. So it actually looks like a building now rather than like a conservatory, and it looks like maybe doors that lead out onto a patio, and that's where the outdoor party is going to be held. So yeah, you can put your own twist on it. So many of you have bought this today. It's an outright success. Thank you so much for your purchases and your orders, but do remember, if you want to order this, do it today, do it now while we're live at 20 to 2, because over 70% of the stock is gone. That was at the beginning of the show, and we're busy in the show right now. So whatever you do, have a little look at these finished samples. This will give you loads of inspiration, and come back for another demo in a tick. gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And remember, this is Summer Cascades. It's launch day today. You save a lot of money by buying it today, and you don't even have to pay P&P unless you're watching us in Europe or America, when you do have to pay your postage. And your shipping and handling for you in the States is
$4.95.
Thank you, Taz. $4.95 if you're buying the main collection. If you're adding like ProPrint paper or your perfect papers, then the maximum shipping and handling for you will be
$14.95.
Thank you, Taz. I can never remember those figures. I'm at that age, you know. I'm getting old.
Taz looks after us. Right, I'm going to use my scalloped edge nested dies. I think this works so well with this collection. Those scalloped edges, they've got that beautiful cloud formation around the edges. So I'm going to make a card using one of those because it's just an alternative. Just pushing these down. Shuffle. Got them where I need them to be. Place down. And we've got them there.
Perfect.
So really, really pretty. Look how gorgeous they are. And when you use that foam tape, so I've got my 5mm here, that foam tape that just raises up, it just gives enough height to really separate your whites. It was good to separate your whites, Dave.
Always.
Place
I used to get that wrong horrendously.
I shrank Arthur's jumper in the worst way this weekend. I felt so bad for him. It's his favourite jumper, and it basically fits a Kendall. And I'm going to place this much smaller one on the inside. Okay, so you've almost got the feeling of it's almost mimicking the shape of the balloons going around the side.
And also that's the ½ inch on the outside and then the inch a little bit further in.
Yeah, I was saying in the earlier one, I just think it's really nice to set that stage. It's something very pretty. I want to cut this to the right size. I don't have to cut too much off. Actually, I can probably get away with it exactly as it is, but I want that grounding device. So this is going to make a huge amount of difference at the bottom. Just visually, we have that grounding. And it just helps. Now, what's great about grounding devices, for those of you who have, you already know this, is no surprise, and sometimes it might be stating the obvious, but for those of us new to it, we might not understand. If I want to put a sentiment at the bottom here, I can put my grounding device there. I can start my grounding device at any point of the card in order to change the height at which I'm working, and that gives us a different visual. And that's why grounding devices are so important. It's why Carnation usually provide us with a good solid grounding device to work for with our collections, because they make a difference. I'm going to put mine right at the bottom here because I'm working almost in the sense of DL with this piece, and that's kind of where I'm going with it. Now my cushion, I have cut my cushion into 3 separate elements, so just pulled them apart essentially because you've got all of those pieces.
Is it only pips holding them together then?
Only pips holding them together. Now the reason I'm going to shape these out, and I will be quick, but the reason I want to shape them out, you see how you've got that mid square in the center of it? I kind of want to push that inwards so that this is balled out, and the way I'm going to do that from the front, I've got a cut line so I can work with that broken fibre and just very gently push that back. Now the reason I'm doing that is because I'm then going to turn it over and I'm going to push this one forward, because I'll explain in a second. I want to put my pin flare here and here only. I want that as a tuck in. I want to be able to tuck in behind those.
Right.
So by making the two different, I kind of give it that beautiful texture, and it just looks a little bit sort of changed up, which is what I want. The other
and it
two,
looks more cushion-like because it's plump.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The other two I'm not so worried about, but that one definitely I wanted to have exactly where it was. So just on an angle, seated that way. Then these two, I'm not worried about these two so much. It's not so important. They're going to kind of be hidden, but I'm just going to use my ball tool, just a little bit of poofing out. Nothing much there. It's just to give it out a visual. Out. So just to fill this in. Lift. Remember your tuck-ins. Super important. Place. And same again. Tuck. So you're building, okay? So we're just building height up. Remember, I'm working on a DL stance here, and that's what I'm going for. From here, I'm going to add in some of these florals. Not really going to shape these out. Don't need to, because I've got the shaping on the cushions at the front. But I am going to use some silicone gel glue just to separate it from the paper below. So I've got those florals coming up now and
Perfect.
making that beautiful long line. And now I've got my balloons. Doesn't matter about cutting this off. If it's something that's going to annoy you, absolutely, you can cut it off, but there's no real need. I'm going to hide it and disguise it anyway, so I'm not too worried. But I'm just going to pin that behind to create all of the height that I want. So that long line, that beautiful flow line that I've got. Now I've got more balloons here as well, so I can tuck those in at a different height should I wish to create more of a scene, which I quite like. I would probably have that there, so I've got them behind and in front, so we'll go for that. You can shape those out, of course, and you've seen other people use your little effects to make them glossy, so you can use your glossy accents, that kind of thing with them. You could also use your enamel dots placed inside them just to create different visuals. Lots of ways of playing. I've got my beautiful flags here. I love these. They're incredibly, what's the sort of tactile? There's something about them.
Yeah, they've got almost movement to them.
Visually impactful. From there, let's place in some florals. So we're tucking in. Remember how valuable tuck-ins are. Really, really helpful to what we make. Small amounts of wet glue here, just to push it in.
And everything about that card says celebration. The balloons, the flags, the flowers.
Pushing in those extra florals. Nearly there. I'm just filling that up so it's a little bit wild and mysterious.
Much like yourself.
Hardly Dave. So then push that in. Now, my final piece. Well, actually, almost my final piece. La pièce de résistance being... Get his lugs. That tummy is to die for. Look at it. Shape him out.
He's content.
He is happy as Larry.
In the dwindling minutes of the final show today, nearly 3/4 of the stock of this collection has gone. This has been one of the most well-received collections for a very, very long time. It's a big question mark over whether we're going to have enough stock for tomorrow's shows at 10 and 12. So make sure you tune in to find out. But certainly, if you order now, yes, Taz?
No, sorry.
Oh, if you order now, you can be guaranteed you'll get this collection. If you leave it till tomorrow, I don't know what's going to happen throughout the rest of the day and overnight. Lots of people watch these shows back a bit later on.
We do get a lot of people buying in between the shows.
Yeah.
Like when me and Carla come in tomorrow, it's the evening people.
The evening
They come
people.
and snatch it out of your basket.
So when are you watching this? Are you watching it on Tuesday evening? We were live, of course, at 9, 11 and 1. If you're watching it Tuesday evening, hopefully there's still stock left. What will be left tomorrow? Anybody's guess.
So the final piece of this is we're going to place this little Mishka on his cushion. So he's fully chilled out, laid back, enjoying his little self. And then just to add a tiny little nuance down at the bottom, I've got his little roll towel here, and that's just going to sit just by his little tail at his feet there to finish off
That
his
is brilliant,
scene.
isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous.
Simple, really easy card making.
There literally must be hundreds of different ways of using this collection, because what Carnation are so good at doing is they give you the components, they give you the elements like the flowers, they give you the elements like the bottles, the glasses, all of that sort of thing. And they give you amazing card blanks, which you can create to tell a story. And here today, you've got 2 official card blanks. You've got the Arbor, you've got the square, but you've also got, of course, remember, the other elements that act as card blanks as well, like the window or the door, it could be either, and also, of course, that right-angled, beautiful floral corner. So all of those can be used as card blanks as well, plus all the other extras. There's 59 dies in Summer Cascades. 240501 is the item number if you'd like it today. And the way to order, if you've never ordered before, you won't know this, just go to carnationcrafts.co.uk. That's our website. Whether you're in the States, whether you're in Europe, whether you're in the UK, doesn't matter. Go there, you can order it and you can get it. But don't forget to print off the vignettes. Now, this is the first time I've said this in all the months and years I've been working with Carla and Taz at Carnation. You've got the free vignettes, as you'd expect, to go with the die collection, but you've also, as a special offer, got the chance to have 4 different colorways in the same artwork. So with the one that you get with the collection, plus those, that would be 5 different colorways that you could be working with. And they're normally, for the extra 4, £20, £5 each. Today, they're £5 for all 4. But that will go back up on Friday, as will the cost of the collection. So if you want to go for all of them, make sure you do that in the same transaction. Print out all of those fantastic images in readiness for your dies to arrive. And remember, if you get in the next 5 to 10 minutes, you'll probably catch the 2 p.m. dispatch this afternoon. That's pretty often when the actual delivery truck arrives at Carnation to send your goods to you. So get in quickly, and you might just be lucky to get it maybe even tomorrow. We can't promise, but hopefully, if not tomorrow, the day after. Thank you for all your lovely messages. Thank you for all of your fantastic orders. I'm going to show you quickly before we go some finished samples. Lavinia Newton has done this one. I mean, this, as you can see, is looking from the outside in. You've got the outside picnic. You've got the kind of collapsed mouse behind the windows there. Probably
the bunting up like that almost makes it look like a circus tent, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does a little bit.
Gives you a different visual.
And this is what I talked about the window being possibly a door, or certainly being a card blank in its own right. Janine's made that one. So cute little cards, as well as the more bigger flamboyant cards. This one, you've got the 2 gnomes obviously enjoying themselves, maybe a little bit of afternoon tea or something like that in a swanky restaurant possibly. But this is a celebration of the season we're coming into. This is a season of barbecues, of outdoor events, festivals, garden parties as well. This is a really, really lovely card. Janine's done this one as well. Isn't that spectacular?
Absolutely gorgeous.
So you can make it look as grand, as whimsical, or indeed as elegant as you want your card to be. 240501. I've had a blast today. Really enjoyed every show. Really enjoyed every card. Thank you, as I said before, for your fantastic messages. Carla and Taz are back tomorrow at 10 and 12 with any remaining stock. But do remember, if you're watching us live at just after 10 to 2, lots of people watch these shows at later stages during the day, on demand on their tablets and that sort of thing. So get in early. And remember, I will be back next month with a new launch. I think it's on the 11th next month, isn't it?
It is. And it's
Can we say what it might be?
Well, it's June.
June.
We know what happens in June.
Could it be Christmas?
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. Just a tease. I'll see you then, but the girls will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thanks for watching. See you soon.